Hello, my wonderful students. You're welcome to another class with Mr. Olukorede. I want to believe you guys are ready for today's class. Okay, so before we commence the class, please kindly invite your friends. Let them know the class is about starting. And don't forget to get your writing materials very close to you because it's going to be interactive as usual. So if today is your first time coming across this video, yeah, what we do here is mathematics. We solve questions on mathematics. So don't forget, if you love what we do here, ensure you click on the subscription button and also the notification button. All right. And don't forget to tap the like button. Okay. All right. So let's wait for those that are yet to join. In a few seconds, we are going to commence the class. Thank you very much. Okay, Bamidele, you're welcome to class. All right, you're welcome. How are you? Okay, don't forget to invite others, let them know the class is about starting. Yes, once you join the class, say hi to the class. Okay, so we know the number of those that are in the class before we commence. All right, thank you. Yes, those of you joining, please ensure you invite your friends. Let them know the class is ongoing. All right, so don't forget, once you join the class, say hi to the whole class and don't forget to tap the like button. All right, so let's start with this question because we don't really have much time. Now, the diagram below shows a window consisting of rectangular and semicircle parts. Now, the radius of the semicircle is 35 centimeter and the height of the rectangle is 50. The rectangle is 50 centimeter. Now, you have to find the area of the window. What is the area of the window? All right, so now you can see the window here. So the window is made up of two plane shapes. Now we have the semicircle and a rectangle. Okay, so now how do we get the total area of this plane shape? Okay, so now the first thing to do now is find the area of the shape here, the semicircle, all right, and also find the area of the rectangle here and add everything together. Okay, can we do that? Now we have area of semicircle is equals to half of pi r square. You know, area of a circle is pi r square, so semicircle is half of a circle. All right, so we have that. So now we have the radius. So we have this to be 1 over 2 times 22 over 7 times r. That is 35. Now raised to the power of 2. That's the radius. Okay, so we have 1 over 2 times 22. Now let's reduce this one. Okay, before we write this, let's reduce this. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 11. Okay, so we can simply write 11 times 35 times 35 over 7. Okay, and that is the same thing as, because 7 goes here 1, 7 goes here is 5. So we have 11 times 5 times 35. So what is going to be the final answer to that? Okay, can you compute that and tell me what the answer is going to be? Okay, that's 55 times 35. Okay, so that is 1925 centimeter square. Okay, so now this is the area of the semicircle. All right, so now let's put it here now. Area of the semicircle, area is 1925 centimeter square. I hope you understand that. Now the next thing is to find the area of the rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle? How do you go about that? Okay, so now I must know the dimension of the rectangle. Now let's look at it. Now we have been given the width, the breadth, that is 50 centimeters. So what is from here to here? Don't forget now that this is radius. This is radius, this is radius. And radius is 35. So that means we have 35, 35. So from here to here now is going to be what? That's 70 centimeter. Okay, so when you add the two radii together, you have 70 centimeter. Okay, so we can calculate the area of the rectangle now. Okay, so what's the area? So area is length times breadth. Okay, so now the length is 70 times the breadth. That is 50. So, and that gives you 3,500 centimeter square. Okay. All right. So this is the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle area is 3,500 centimeter square. So now the total area now. So we add the area of the semicircle to it. That's 1,925. So we have 5, 2, 4, 5. So centimeter square. So the answer to the problem now is 5,425 centimeter square. So that is the area of the window. I hope every one of you understand that. Okay, so if you have any comments, any question based on this question, please ensure you drop that in the comment section. Okay. All right. So now let me check before we move down to the next question. All right. Any question? Okay. So if there's no question on that, now let us look at another one here. Okay, yeah. Now let's look at this question on the board. Okay. The question says that the base of a triangle is 2y plus 1 meters and the height is y minus 2 meters. Now, if the area is 21 meters square, find y. Roman numeral 2, if the two sides are y plus 3 and y plus 5, find the perimeter. Okay, can we sketch the diagram? Let's sketch the diagram here. Let's see the way it looks like. Okay, so now the base of the triangle is 2y plus 1. So we have 2y plus 1 as the base. That's the meter. And the height is y minus 2. We have y minus 2 in meters. So the question wants you to find y if the area is 21 meters square. So what I need to do here now is to bring out the formula for calculating area of a triangle. I want to believe you still remember that. Okay, so we have area equals to half base times height. Okay, so now the base has been given and the height. So let's plug in the value. So now don't forget, we have been given the area as well. The area is 21 meters square. So let's plug in that. So we have 21 equals to 1 over 2 times the base. That is 2y plus 1 times the height. That is y minus 2. Okay. All right. So what's the next thing to do here? Now let's multiply both sides by 2. So when you do that, you have 42. When you multiply this by 2, you have 42. When you multiply this by 2, so 2 cancel 2. So we have 2y plus 1 times y minus 2. Okay? So the next thing is to expand this. Now, how do we expand? Now, this multiplies this and also multiplies this. Okay, can we do that? So we have 42 equals to, now 2y times y, that gives you 2y squared. 2y times negative 2, that gives you negative 4y. Okay, so the next thing is to use this one to multiply y and also to multiply negative 2. Okay, so 1 times y, that gives you plus y. And 1 times negative 2, that gives you negative 2. Okay, so now let's tidy up this. We can add this one up and we can also transpose this. So this will move to this side. So we have 0 equals to 2y squared. Now this and this gives us negative 3, negative 3y. Okay, so we have negative 2, negative 42. When you transpose 42, so we have a quadratic equation of this from y squared minus 3y minus 44 equals to 0. Okay, so now what we need to do now is to solve this quadratic equation. So how do we solve this? And let's look up. So so we have 2y squared minus 3y minus 44 equals to 0. So now to solve this, I need to identify the sum and product. So I want to believe we all know how to do this. So if you don't know how to solve quadratic equations, so you can go through my previous video. So I explain how to solve quadratic equation. Okay, so Now you identify your sum and product. Now your sum is the coefficient of y, that is s, that is negative 3. And your product is the multiplication. You multiply 2 by negative 44. So product is going to give you negative 88. So what are you going to do with this? Now you look for two numbers such that when you multiply together, you have negative 88. And when you add the two numbers together, you have negative 3. So I want you to drop in the comment section what you have for that. Two numbers such that when you multiply together, you have negative 88, and the addition will be what? Negative 3. Can you drop that in the comment section? All right. Okay. So now if you do that correctly, you're going to have positive 8 and negative 11. So these are the two numbers. Now, when you multiply these and these together, you have negative 88. And when added together, you have negative 3. So now let's incorporate this into this equation. So we have 2y squared plus 8y minus 11y minus 44 equals to 0. Okay. Now, can you see that? All right. So now look at these two terms. The first two terms here. Let's find the GCD. Okay, the greatest common divisor. Now, the greatest common divisor here is going to be 2y. 2 can go here, 2 can also go here, y can go here, y can go here. So I have 2y. So when you divide this by 2y, what do you have as your answer? That's going to be y. What of this? That is going to be plus 4. Okay, so now the GCD here is negative 11, right? So when you divide this by negative 11, you have y. 44, negative 44 by negative 11, that gives you plus 4, plus 0. Okay, so let's factor out y plus 4. So when you factor out y plus 4, okay, so you'll be left with 2y minus 11 equals to 0. Okay, so here we have two numbers multiplying each other, or two entities multiplying each other to have 0. So you see that this first one is 0. It's either y plus 4 is 0 or 2y minus 11 is 0. Okay, so here we subtract 4 from both sides. So we have y equals to negative 4, or now we add 11 to both sides. So when you do that, you have 2y equals to 11. So here, to get y here, you divide both sides by 2. So when you divide both sides by 2, so what do you have as your y? So you have y equals to 11 over 2. Okay, so this is going to be the answer. So we have two answers for y. We have y equals to negative 4, and y equals to 11 over 2. I hope you understand that. Okay, so which one now is the true value of y? Now, when you look at this, the first one, y equals to negative 4. If you input this into this expression given here, now let's input negative 4 here. Now, when you put it here, it's going to give us negative 4, negative 2. That gives us negative 6. Now, what that means is that we are saying that the height is negative 6. Now, that would be wrong. So, distance cannot be measured in negative form. It is always an absolute value positive. Okay, so that means that y cannot be negative 4 in the real sense of it. Okay, so now y is what? 11 over 2. Okay, so that is only the condition that will make us have a positive answer. All right, that means y is 11 over 2. So we have that y is 11 over 2. So we'll just conclude from there. Now let's look at the second part of the question. Now, if the two sides are y plus 3 and y plus 5. Find the perimeter. So if the two sides, now we have the remaining two sides, okay? Now we have one of them to be y plus 3 and another one to be y plus 5. Okay, so what is going to be the perimeter? Okay, so how do we go about this? Now the first thing is to write out the formula for calculating perimeter of a triangle. So perimeter of a triangle, perimeter is A plus B plus C, where A, B, C are the sides of a triangle. Okay, so we have perimeter P equals to A, that's y plus 5, plus B, that is y plus 3, plus C, that is 2y plus 1. Okay, so we have P equals to, now let's add the y's together. So we have 1y, 2y, 4y. So we have 4y. So let's add the numbers together. 5 plus 3, 8, that's 9. Okay, so now to get the actual value of the perimeter, so we have y to be 11 over 2. So let's plug in the value of y. So that is 4 times 11 over 2 plus 9. Okay, so here 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 2. So 2 multiplies 11. So we have P equals to 22 plus 9. So therefore P, which is the perimeter, equals to 31 meters. Okay, so this is the perimeter of the triangle. So I want to believe you understand that. Okay, so if you have any question based on what I just see there, so please drop your answer in the comment section and let me attend to it before we move down to the next question. Any question based on what we just did? Thank you very much, Divine. Okay. Any question based on what we did now? If you have any question, please, you can drop that in the comment section. Okay, Rashid, Toby, thank you. Thank you. All right, Balogun, thank you. All right, so if there's no question, let's proceed. Let's proceed to the next thing. Okay, yes. This is another wonderful question. Okay, so before we solve this, if you are new on this channel and you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please kindly do that. And don't forget to tap the like button. Okay, so let's see. How do we solve this problem? A chord of length 12 centimeter is drawn in a circle of radius 10 centimeter. Find the perimeter of the corresponding minor segments to the nearest tenth. Okay, so can we sketch that here? Now we have a circle. Okay, yes, and we also have a chord inside the circle. Now we have the chord. The length of the chord is 12 centimeters. So we have it this way. So 12 centimeters. So let's call it chord AB. Okay. So what else are we given? Now the circle is a circle of radius 10 centimeters. So this is the center. Let's call it center O. So we have your radius, which is 10 centimeters. So you can also bring this one here down, 10 centimeters. Okay. So the question wants us to find the perimeter of the corresponding minor segments. Okay, we want to find the perimeter. So to find the perimeter of minor segment, look at it. This is the minor segment, the area here, sorry. The area here is the minor segment. So we want to get this. So we need the length of the chord and the length of arc. So that is what we need now to get that. Okay, so now we need to get the angle here. Okay, so let's find a way of getting theta. So how do we get that? Since we have been given the length of the chord, we have been given the length of the chord to be 12 centimeters. So we can make use of the formula for finding length of the chord. So we use that to get this angle here. Since this chord, we also subtend an angle at the center of the circle. All right, so now let's write out the formula. So we have length of chord equals to 2r sine theta over 2. Can you see that? Okay, so now length of chord has been given to be 12 centimeters. So we have 12 centimeters equals to 2 times r. R is 10. So we have 10 sine theta over 2. Okay? So now we want to find a way of isolating theta. So here you divide both sides by the coefficient of sine theta over 2. And that is 2 times 10. And that's 20. So I can simply write 12 over 20 equals to sine theta over 2. All right. So let's find a way of breaking this down. We have 4 goes here is 3. 4 goes here is what? Is 5. Okay, so that means we have 3 over 5 equals to sine theta over 2. Okay, so now we are going to find the arc sine of both sides. So now we find arc sine here. So we have arc sine of 3 over 5. 3 over 5 is the same thing as 0.6. Okay, so equals to arc sine of sine theta over 2 is going to give us theta over 2. Okay, so this sign here will go away. All right, so all right, let me continue here. So now what do we have next here? So you multiply both sides by 2 so that we clear this fraction here. So we multiply this by 2, this times 2, this also times 2. So when you do that, you have 2 arcsine of 0.6 equals to 2 will have cancelled 2 here. So we have equals to theta. So that is what we are looking for. So now we find arcsine of 0.6. So I need you to do that for me. Punch your calculator and find the value of arcsine of 0.6. So you just press shift, sign, and then you punch 0.6, or you check your 4-figure table and look down where you can see 6,000, all right, or a number close to it. So can you do that and drop your answer in the comment section? Let's see what you have. So let me clean this so we can continue here. And so we have theta equals to 2 arcsine of 0.6. Okay, so now if you have your answer, you can drop that in the comment section. Let me see what you have for that. Okay, you press shift, sign of 0.6. So what do you have as your answer? Okay, I can see an answer, Nabila 36.86. Okay, Riscott 36.869. Okay, yes. Okay, all right. So if you have your answer, please make sure you drop in the comment section. Okay, so I think I've seen the correct answer there. So if you punch your calculator, you have theta equals to 2 times. So now what you have is going to be 36.8698. Okay, all right. So that's what you have on 99. So that's what you have. So we can multiply that by 2. So when you multiply that by 2, so what do you have? You have 73.739 degrees. So let me express that in 4SF. So I have 73.74 degrees. Okay, so that is the angle subtended at the center of the circle, 73.74. Okay, so theta is 73.74 degrees. Now, what's the next thing to do? We want to get the length of this arc, because what we want to get is the perimeter of the minor segment. This is the minor segment here. We want to get the perimeter. So we have an arc and a chord. So we already have this AB. So we want to get this. So now that we have gotten the angle now, so we can now bring out the formula for calculating length of an arc. Okay, so let's bring that out. Okay, so we have length of arc equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So this is the formula for calculating length of an arc. So we have length of arc equals to theta is 73.74 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7 times r, which is 10. Okay, can we simplify this? Now 10 goes here 1, 10 goes here is 36, 2 goes here is 18, 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here is 9, 2 goes here 11. Okay, so now we have length of arc equals to 73.74 times 11 over 9 times 7. That is 63. Okay, so what do you have? Can you evaluate this and drop your answer in the comment section? Okay, make sure you are participating in the class. So let's see, what do you have for that? Okay, so when you multiply that, what do you have? So you do that fast. 73.74 times 11, okay, divided by 63. All right, so let me see what you have in the comment section. Good. Yes, I can see a result given by Folashade. Okay. All right. Okay. Balogun 12.87. Right. Good. All right. Nabila 12.875. Shuremekun. All right. I can see your answer. Okay. Okay, good. Good. All right. We are all doing fine. So the results to this is 12.875. Okay. So, and that is going to be in centimeter. All right. So what do we need to do now? So we have, okay, let me write the length here. So we already have length of arc is 12.875. Okay. So that's what we have. And that's going to be in centimeter. So the question wants us to get the perimeter of the minor segments, okay, to the nearest tenth. So what do we do now? We had the length of chord plus the length of arc. So perimeter of the minor segments is equals to the length of chord, and that's what 12. 12 plus length of arc, we just calculated that, that's 12.875. So now what is going to be the addition? That's 24.875 centimeter. Now the question asks you to express to the nearest tenth. So what's going to be the nearest tenth? This is the position of tenths. Okay, so we have 24 point. We are supposed to write 8, but the next digit to the last count is up to 5. So we have to increase the last digit. So this is going to be 24.9 centimeter. And that is the answer to the problem. So I want to believe you all understand. So if you have any question based on that, please kindly drop in the comment section. And don't forget, those of you that have not tagged the like button, ensure you do that. Okay. So if you have any question, please drop in the comment section. Any question, any observation based on what we just did. So before we move down to the next question. All right, no question. Okay. All right, so if there's no question, so we can proceed to the next thing. All right. So yes, can we look at this problem? These questions are under logical reasoning, right? So there are questions that I've once solved before. Okay, so now let's quickly go through the questions. The first one, you have to solve for x if 5x plus 2 equals to 3 in mode 7. Mode 9, sorry. Okay, so let's do the first one. We have 5x plus 3 equals to plus 2 equals to 3 in mode 9. Now the first thing to do here is to subtract 2 from both sides. So when you do that, you have 5x equals to 3 minus 2 mode 9. So and when you do that, you have 5x equals to 1 in mode 9. Okay. So the next thing is to divide both sides by 5. But now, if you divide both sides by 5, you are going to be having a decimal number. And don't forget, modular arithmetic is an arithmetic for integers. So I should find a way of having an integer answer, okay, an answer that is integer. So what am I going to do now? I'll begin to add multiple of 9 to the number we have here, okay, until I get to a number that is divisible by 5. Okay, since the number of modulo added to a number does not change it. Okay, so now here, when you add 9 to this, you have 10. So, and 5 is divisible by 10. So that means adding 9 will work. Okay, so here I have 5x equals to 9 times 1 plus 1 in mode 9. Okay, so we now have 5x equals to, so when you add this together, what do you have? You have 10 in mode 9. You can then divide both sides by 5. So you have x equals to 10 over 5 in mode 9. And x equals to what? 2 in mode 9. So this is the answer. But before you leave, you can cross-check if you can have another answer that will satisfy this equation. So you begin to add multiple of 9 to 1. Okay, so if you add 2 9 to 1, that is 19, so which is not divisible by 5. So if you have 3 9, okay, that is 27. 27 plus 1, that's 28. It's not divisible. Okay, so if you add 4 9, that is 36. You add 1 to it, you have 37, not divisible by 5. So you continue until when you add 9 9, okay, 9 of 9 to 1, you have 100, and 100 is divisible by 5. So how many 5 are you going to see in 100? Okay, so that's going to give you 20. Okay, so now let us see, maybe we are still going to have the same answer here. All right, so we can cross check. We have 5x equals to 9 times 9 plus 1 in mode 9. All right, we have 5x equals to, that is what? Okay, this one is 81. Oh, all right, so that's going to be 81. So 81 plus 1, that's 82. It's not divisible. So what of, if it is 10, so 10. All right, so obviously you will only have one solution. I just want us to cross-check and see. You only have one solution, so you may not have to disturb yourself too much. But if we look at when we multiply 9 times 10, okay, so we are going to have 90. So when you add 1 to it, it's still not divisible by 5. So we can stop here. All right. So now let's look at if we have 9 times 11. Okay, so plus 1 in mode 9. So look at this one. Now this is going to give you 99. Okay, 99 plus 1, that is 100. So we have 5x equals to 100 in mode 9. So you divide both sides by 5. So we have x equals to 100 over 5 in mode 9. Okay, so what do we have? We have x equals to 20 in mode 9. All right, so we can't leave our answer this way. So you express this in mode 9. So we have 9 times 2 plus 2 in mode 9. Okay, you can see we still have 2. So that means we have only one solution to that. Okay, that's how just to verify if we have another solution. Okay, so the answer to the problem is x equals to 2. All right, so can we move down to the next one? Find the last digit of 7 raised to the power of 315. So how do you do this? So we have 7 raised to the power of 315. Now to do this, you pay attention to the base. So now let's begin to look for the last digit of number raised to the power of 1, raised to the power of 2, raised to the power of 3, and so on, so that we have the circle of the last digits. Okay, so we have 7 raised to the power of 1 is going to give us 7. Okay, so 7 raised to the power of 2, that's going to give us 49. So that means the last digit is going to be 9, because 7 times 7 is 49. The last digit is 9. Right. Okay, so what's the next one? 7 raised to the power of 3. So we continue like this until we get to another one that's going to give us 7. Okay, so 7 raised to the power of 3. So you don't need to begin to say 7 times 7 times 7. Just multiply 9 by 7. It's going to give us the last digit when you have 7 times 7 times 7. Still the same thing. So you have 7 times 9. And that is what 63. So that means the last digit is going to be 3. Okay, you can confirm that. So 7 raised to the power of 4. So that is going to be 7 times 3. Okay, 7 times 3 is 21. So you have 1. Last digit is 1. Okay, the next one, 7 raised to the power of 5. So 7 times 1, you have what? 7. So it's the same thing what we have earlier. So that means we are going to, from here now, begin to have circle of 7, 9, 3, 1. 7, 9, 3, 1. So we have this circle. So we have a circle of 7, 9, 3, 1. Okay, so now what is going to be the length of this? So that is the number of the digits we have there. So it has a length of 4. Okay, so the length is 4. Now what are we going to do with the length now? So this length, we use it to express this in mode. The power here, we express it in mode of the length. Okay, so we express this power in mode 4. Okay, can we do that? So now let's do that. So we have 315 in mode 4. So this is going to give you 4 times. So we just divide this one by 4. Okay, so now 4 goes in 31. So that is what? That is what? That is 8. Okay, no, that is not going to be, that's 7. Okay, because that's 28, right? Okay, so we are left with 3. So we have 35. Okay, so now 4 goes in 35 now. So what do you have? So 4 goes in 35, that's going to give you 8. So we are left with 3. So that's going to be plus 3 in mode 4. Okay, so now 315 in mode 4 is 3 mode 4. So to get the last digit for this number here, now you come to this circle, you start from 1, 2, 3, and 0. Because in mode 4, you cannot have 4. So the maximum digit you are going to have there is 3. So now you look at it. Which of them falls at these 3 here? So you have 7 is to 1, 9 is to 2, and 3 is to 3. So therefore, because 3 is against 3, so we now have, therefore, the remainder is 3. Okay. Oh, sorry. The remainder of the last digit. Okay, so that's the last digit. Sorry. Okay. The last digit is 3. All right. So that's the answer to that. Okay, can we look at the last one here? Let's look at this last one. So you have to evaluate 2 divided by 2 in mode 5. So how do you go about this? We have 2 divided by 2 in mode 5. The first thing is to say, assume that this is x. So we say let x to be equals to 2 divided by 2 in mode 5. So it implies that 2x equals to 2 in mode 5. All right, so what's the next thing to do here? You divide both sides by 2. When you divide both sides by 2, you have x equals to 1 in mode 5. All right, before you leave, you are going to check maybe you have multiple answer. So you begin to add multiple of 5 to 2 until you get to a number that is divisible by 2. Okay, if I add 1 5 to 2, I have 7. It's not divisible by 2. I have 2 5s, that's 10. 10 to 2, I have 12. 2 is divisible by 12. So that means we have 2x equals to 5 times 2 plus 2 in mode 5. So we have 2x equals to 12 mode 5. So we have x equals to 12 over 2 in mode 5. So x equals to what? Equals to 6 in mode 5. Now, when you look at it now, you can't leave your answer like this because your answer is bigger than the mode. So now we have this as 5 times 1 plus 1 in mode 5. So as you can see, x equals to 1 mode 5. So you can see we have the same answer back. Okay, so that means, implication of that is we only have one single solution for this expression. Okay, we have only one solution. So the answer is 1 equals to x equals to 1 in mode 5. So I want to believe we've learned one or two things. Okay, so I want to appreciate every one of you for waiting till the end of the class. Most especially those of you that are just joining this class for the first time. I really appreciate you. You're especially welcome. Don't forget to click the subscription button if you love what we are doing here, and don't also forget to tap the like button. All right, so students, I want you to continue practicing. The more you practice, the better you become. All right, so you can lay your hands on your textbook, look for similar questions that we have here. So okay, and I wish you best in all your exams and tests. Thank you very much. Bye bye.